Hello, you guys. It's me. It's Maureen Langan. You are hanging with Langan. So much to tell you. I am so excited. I want to let you know that my guest joining me in just a couple of minutes is Diane Dimond. Come on, like America's top criminal justice investigative reporter, like the total news hound. She has been on everything, which we'll get to later. My former radio co-host. What freaking fun we had. You have to hear the dirt that we dished off the mic, but tonight we're going to dish it on the mic, which makes me so excited. A couple things I wanted to fill you in on, having my very first live gig, like in person at the comic strip on June 10th in New York City. Woo, woo, very excited. It's a fundraiser, so check it out and get some tickets. A lot of you have been bitching, hey, Langan, why is it hanging with Langan? Why is there a G at the end? It should be hanging with the apostrophe. I know, but social media was screwing it up every time I tried to hashtag hanging with Langan. But I'm going back to the original. I'm going to go back to hanging with Langan. We got the new logos. Bob, my web dude Johnson, is on that. So I wanted to let you know that. And okay. I have to do my Don't Make Me Hate You. I don't want to hate people. They make me hate them segment here. Look at the t-shirt. You see my t-shirt, Don't Make Me Hate You? Because I don't want to hate people. They make me hate them. And of course, you can get your Don't Make Me Hate You t-shirt at maureenlangan.com. So here's the deal. And I'm going to talk to Diane Dimond about this in our chat coming up. A while ago, she emailed me and she said, is it true, Maureen, that like conservative comics are having a harder time than other comics on stage because there was an article out? And I said, you know, Dee, we all are, no matter who we are, whether you're middle of the road, liberal, conservative, it doesn't matter. It's a friggin' pig F out there. So I posted something and I heard from too many people. I posted something about J-Lo. I love J-Lo. I love Jenny from the Block. I love that girl. In fact, I love her so much. I don't understand what the hell's wrong with all these guys who keep screwing it up with J-Lo. Just screwing it, forget it. Just screwing it up with her, you forget it. So what I saw is as soon as she and A-Rod went kaput, immediately she's hooking up with Ben Affleck. I don't know what happened to his 20-year-old girlfriend. I don't know. All I know is it was lickety split. So Maureen Langan, because I'm Irish Catholic and repressed sexually, I don't think about sexual things. I think about like emotional things. So I'm watching her and I'm thinking, God, this gal is like rebound, like bam. And I'm thinking, I'm being serious. I'm like, can she not like spend like an hour by herself? Does there always have to be a guy in her life? That's what I'm thinking. So I think, Jesus, this happened so fast, J-Lo. Did she even have time to stop home for a shower? So I thought that was my commentary on her moving so quickly. Well, both sides. I got people going, Maureen, don't call her a whore. Like, a whore? Where'd that happen? Nobody called her. I didn't call anybody a whore. Well, you know, guys get away with it all the time. I'm like, I rip on the old guys all the time who are screwing the young girls, but it had nothing to do with sex at all. I was just psychologically thinking, did she even have time to stop home? Bam, she's with a new guy. I guess the word shower connotes cleanliness and showering in between fellas. So maybe that's what got sidetracked. Oh, a good friend, a woman I love, said that I was punching down and it was anti-Latina. I'm like, who's punching down at J-Lo? She's at the top. I'm punching up at the very friggin' top. The daughter of the garbage man. Come at me. That's punching friggin' down. And then on the other side, I got these guys calling her a slut. And I'm like, what is happening? Nobody's getting my message. So I have to delete the friggin' thing. I don't want to delete it. I know where I'm coming from, but I don't want this. People are coming at me. Guys are calling them sluts. I'm calling her a whore. I'm like, I'm not. What the hell? So why don't you people get my sense of humor? What is wrong? Don't make me hate you. Do you get it? I start out loving you. It's what you do that causes me to hate you. I am a victim. Thank you, Maureen Langan. That was very good, my commentary. All right, so let's see who we have here. You guys, nice to see you. Joy and Liberty and Charlotte. Really great that you guys are here. Really appreciate that because I'm going to introduce my friend in a moment, Diane Dimond, the world-renowned investigative journalist, the news hound. You guys are going to love her because I do. So what I want to tell you, if you're making comments on the Hanging with Langan Facebook page, what I'd like you to do is go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. That's it. And then click on the blue button. This way I can see your name tagged along with your comment. I'll get your comment, but this way I get the name in case you want to shout out. And also, please share this right now. Just take a moment, hit your share button, because having Diane, she's a good friend to me. And she's like, Maureen, I'll come hang with you. It's either that or NISC or NCSI. But I know that she has a lot of other things to do. All right. So you're doing that? I know. Oh my God. All right. She's already getting compliments. Eddie. All right. Eddie, I'm not going to give her your compliment till I get her ass on this show. Why did you say ass, Maureen? She's not an ass. No, I said I'm going to get her ass on this show. Let me give you a little background here because it's unbelievable. Diane Dimond. There's no A in Dimond. It's Dimond for those of you following her. She's an award-winning investigative journalist. I told you this. She's an author, a syndicated columnist, a TV commentator. She is known for breaking the story of the sexual allegations, the molestation charges against Michael Jackson. She took some friggin' heat for that. Her book, I believe, is now being optioned for a movie in the UK, like that. Again, my former radio co-host. Try to find wine at 9 a.m. after your morning shift, but we did it. We did it. She's been on Extra, Hard Copy, Court TV, WCBS, Fox, MSNBC, filled in for Nancy Grace. No, you guys have Nancy Grace questions. National Public Radio. I don't know. She does it all. My buddy, the gifted, the talented, Diane Dimond.
What an introduction. Wow.
I know, Dee Dee. I'm so happy you're here with me.
I am too. Now you have to ask me what I've been doing.
Diane, you're controlling my interview. No, okay. What have you been doing?
Entirely. So ask me what I've been doing.
What have you been doing, Diane?
I'm so glad you asked. Let me tell you, I've been gardening. Today I planted lettuce, arugula, and two different kinds of lettuce, and I use my little dinosaur watering can. You make fun of my gardening all the time. So look at my gloves. Are these the gloves of a real gardener or what?
That's a down-to-earth queen or princess. That's what you just did that with that wave.
I am Earth Mother.
When Dee Dee and I had a morning radio show, she would talk so much about the gardening, and I would just crack up. And she's a good sport. Now she has some crazy mushroom-looking thing that looks like it just figured. I don't know what it is.
I should have brought that to show you. Yes.
What is
it? You know what's happening in my garden on Thursday?
What's happening?
The mulch. The mulch arrives on Thursday. I'm so excited. So anyway, that's what I've been doing.
Dee Dee. Some people are just saying, people are happy to be here. But Eddie Clark, he's a comedian and a cop, retired cop. Mucho respect, Eddie Clark. He says, you're simply the best. I was hoping he was talking about me, but he says, Diane digs deep until the truth comes out. Thank you, Diane, for what you did for me and my family. What did you do for your family, Eddie Clark?
What's Eddie's last name?
Clark. He's a retired police officer. Eddie, I love you.
I never give up a source, so never mind. Don't ask.
Well, don't tell. So here's the deal. You've been doing a lot of really cool things. And, one of the big things that you're known for is the breaking that Michael Jackson thing.
Yeah.
So I know you took a lot of crap for that.
I did. You mentioned that I have partners in the UK who have optioned my book on Michael Jackson. And in the course of working, look at that. You're so sweet. I just did the audio book, by the way, adding 4 new chapters. So if you want to hear 4 new chapters, buy the audio book. I think it's like 99 cents. But
it's called Be Careful Who You Love by Diane. Be Careful Who You Love is the name of the book, the Inside the Michael Jackson Case by Diane Dimond.
Thank you for the little plug there. Now I completely forgot what I was going to say. No, I remember. I'm working with a screenwriter in Hollywood, and it will be an episodic mini series, blah, blah, blah. And it dawned on me during a Zoom call with my partners in the UK, the Hollywood guy, screenwriter in Hollywood. We have a person working with us in Cincinnati. And it dawned on me as I was talking about what I had gone through and the threats and the death threats in my family, that the story that I covered for, since 93 when I broke it through the trial in 2005, really sort of ended my career. What? I started to bawl like a baby. I mean, that was it. That's when I did do a little television. After that, I worked, Court TV. I filled in at Fox after 9/11. I did some other things. But that really I was, the investigative reporter flying high. but he wasn't found guilty. He was acquitted. And as my agent said to me at the time, he knew I was writing a book during the trial. And he said, well, the book could have been a bestseller, but so it really did sort of stunt my career in ways, but I wouldn't have changed a thing.
But why do you think it stunted it? Because then people found, because he was acquitted. Why do you think he was acquitted, Dee? You follow this, you know this better than anyone.
Yeah. And look, I have a whole body of work that it consumed a lot of my time, but looking back, I think the jury sat in a little tiny room for 4 months, little courtroom, this far away from a superstar, and he would enter the room and they'd all smile and blush, and here he is, I think it was the jury. That jury was never, ever going to convict him, no matter what the evidence was. And make no mistake, there was another young boy who came forward and said, yeah, what the accuser says happened to him happened to me too. And he carefully told the story. The mother of the original boy from 93 took the stand and said, let me tell you how he duped me into handing over my son. I mean, there was some really compelling testimony, but he had a really good lawyer, Tom Mesereau, and the guy who looks like the Quaker Oats man, huge guy, the big imposing figure in the courtroom, and celebrity won. I don't think truth won, but I think celebrity won.
Yeah, well, that often happens, doesn't it? And the thing about you, listen, you and I bust each other's chops. We have a really nice friendship. I think I really respect this about you. You truly are a journalist. In a time, in a world where journalism does not exist, you are a journalist. And I have to tell you something that pisses me off beyond human belief. People don't know how to research and look at sources. They don't understand if they see it. Like my friend Bob, whom I love and has questions for you, he is well read. But I said, don't use Wikipedia as a source. He goes, no, I just put that up because it's quick. I go, yeah, take it down, because if you're talking to Dee, you have to have reputable sources, and he has that. But my point being is, some people go, they just heard it on the news, and that's enough for them. Yeah. And I'll go, what source is that?
Or they read it on the internet, so it must be true. Well,
and right. And when I hear people, this is a huge issue for me. When I hear people so easily say that it's fake media without knowing what's the source. Is it all fake media? Who did the report? Who was on that network that did that report? Like, do you even know the sources? So you may not know sources, but where are you reading that from? And when they say fake news all the time and people repeat it like a mindless lemming, they are undermining such a foundation of America, the freedom of the press. And you see what's going on in Belarus, where they took a plane down to get a reporter, an American in Myanmar, however the hell you say Burma these days. It's Burma. Please leave it easy. So this is what our radio show is like.
Don't make me hate your country.
But you understand, like, it's journalists. James Foley was beheaded by the Taliban. Khashoggi just destroyed. And we have to go, holy moly, that stands for America, what these people do.
Well, it's a bedrock. It's a bedrock of our republic.
Twist.
And for democracy, you need a good, strong, healthy media. And all of this is very important coming from Maureen, because you were a journalist before you were a professional comedian and fabulous show host. And so I appreciate your compliments to me, but you're exactly right. And you must feel like me. I'm embarrassed about journalism today, because you turn on the cable news, any of them, MSNBC, CNN, Fox, any of them, at night, and that's not journalism. That's opinion. That's spin. That's, it's feathers and air in front of your eyes. It's not journalism. And that's what I practice,
That's right.
I used to host a show with Geraldo Rivera.
Let's get there.
At CNBC. I was a co-host with him for several years. Yes. And I love the guy. Oh my God, that was the worst haircut I ever had.
This is up front tonight. Diane Dimond.
And I love the guy. I mean, Geraldo's one of a kind, but I frequently said, even on the air, he and I practice very different kinds of journalism. And so, he's now an opinion guy on Fox, and I'm still plugging along in my little Where's Waldo shirt, working in the garden and writing from home and doing my investigations that way.
But with
Myself.
but with integrity.
Oh, thanks.
Well, it's
Thank
true.
you. I'll drink
It's
some
not-
tea to that. Thank you.
And I'll drink some soda water in my end mug.
Oh, I like that mug.
Yeah, my
You-
neighbor. Thank you,
You
Melissa.
hinted how after our morning show, oh my God, we had to get up so early. We did a show on the now defunct Greenstone Radio. We get off at like what, 9 o'clock?
9 in the morning. We've been up since 4.
Or well, I live in the suburbs, so I got up like 2:30.
I get
And
up
so-
at 2:15.
So at 9 o'clock in the morning, we were like, okay, let's get a drink. And
I know, because it was a happy
happy.
hour. I know. Well, do you remember where we would find a drink?
Well, there were several little bars around. You know what I remember? We would go in and you'd say, I'd like a red wine. Now, that one's been opened. Could you open a new bottle for me, please? And I just thought, that's so smart. Don't have that stale old wine left over for 2 or 3 days. Get a new bottle open.
All my friends think I'm a pain in the ass. Can I have a taste? I want to sample it. But you know what? We went one time. We wanted a glass of wine. You guys, we're not alcoholics. We've been working. We want to freaking relax and wind down. It's freaking
It's at
9 in the
5
morning.
o'clock,
Yeah, we're tired. We've done a lot. We went to a Greek diner.
Oh, yes.
We went to a Greek diner, and I don't think he was legally allowed to start selling until 10 or I don't know. We're like, give us the friggin' red wine. I don't care what that is. That Julio and Julio Gallo, whatever is in that jug.
I think you just pouted a little, like, really? Can't I have a little? And oh, yeah, okay. And we got it. That's right.
Oh, we had some
Forgotten about that.
You guys, I'm talking to Diane Dimond, the top investigative journalist in America. And what I want you to do is share this. I need you to share this if you're watching.
And where am I sharing it now?
Are you on the Facebook? You just share.
I'm on the Facebook.
On the .com, there should be a share button underneath watching this. There should be share right there.
So
when you share a post,
MaureenLangan.com or
Facebook. Yes, Facebook.com/Maureen Langan. What is that? Facebook.com/Maureen Langan. You'll see it there. If you're watching it, you guys, please just share it. It's only fair. It shows you care. And while Diane's looking for that, I'm going to just do a quick little commercial break, and I'll be right back with Dee Dee. You guys, you keep the show going. You know this. It's all based on what you do, your support. And a big way to support the show is to go to patreon.com/Maureen Langan, patreon.com/Maureen Langan. What is that, Maureen? What is it? I don't fully understand. It's really it's a place where I put my shows. You get bonus episodes and stories and tidbits. And at different levels, you get different things. So at the $5 a month level, you get access to all the videos because that's where they live. And then you can get merchandise. Don't Make Me Hate You t-shirt at a $25 level if you're so inclined. And you get different things. You'll see. You can get a comedy show. I could do broadcast coaching at different levels. And I make it fun because I know what it's like to be on both sides of the mic. And it's painful when I want you to kill it for me. I know what you can do to soar, whether you're a company executive or CEO or a spokesperson, or you have an opportunity to be on television or radio. I know how to help you soar because we want you to kill it. We want to bring you back as a great guest. Like I want Diane Dimond in my pocket. Do you understand? Because she's freaking great. And you could be great. Not as great as her, but you can be great. So you get different things at different levels when you go to patreon.com. And there's different, oh, Maureen, show me. Look at this. I have like the Carol Burnett, come on in. And Dolly, oh, honey, aren't you a sweet soul? And Phyllis Diller level. Housework can't kill you, but why take a chance? So these are $5, $10, $25 levels, and it goes all the way up even further to the Joan Rivers $1,000 level. But you'll see Lily Tomlin at 50, Rhoda at 100, but you get different things with that. So see if that suits you, and we can put a great comedy show together for you as well. I was asked today, a woman who does support me on Patreon, she's so generous, Sue, thank you. Sue said to me today, Maureen, what if I just don't want to do a monthly subscription? I want to give you a lump sum. But I said, just go to PayPal or Venmo, paypal.me/Mo Langan and Venmo at Mo Langan. You guys, this is the new world. So I have to put that out there because this is how we make our living today. So I really appreciate your support. Ding, ding, ding. Follow me at MaureenLangan.com. Just launched the new website and we'll just stay connected. And you can subscribe on Apple, Spotify, do it. That's the audio versions. Do that. Give a great review. If you don't have anything nice to say, then get the frig away from me. All right, let's bring back my buddy Diane Dimond.
Don't make her hate you.
I don't. And you can get the t-shirts at maureenlangan.com. You don't have to subscribe anyway.
I'm really proud of you for doing all this. During this pandemic, we got involved with a fella, a jazz musician who we love. He's a pianist. His name is Emmett Cohen, and he's doing what you're doing. He lives in Harlem. He's a white guy, surrounded by great talented people that he brings in, like these jazz legends, and he does it from his apartment in Harlem. He's done it for more than a year, and he's got the Venmo thing, he's got the PayPal thing, and you're right, it is the new world.
Well, it also gives you the opportunity to keep content coming because, you buy your lights, you have your web dude, you have you can't believe how much, how much is involved because we used to have people help us do this stuff and get a salary. One of the things, we have a lot to talk about. My guest is Diane Dimond, investigative journalist. But what I wanted to bring up to you, I want to see Eddie Clark responded why you helped him. He said the case was Mount Vernon, New York, Martin daycare sexual abuse case. You interviewed Eddie Clark's family when the rest of the country was focused on the McMartin case in California. Your story helped send them to jail. I was a cop at the time. We thank you for being you. God bless. See? This
is why I do what I do, I do focus my crime and justice stories a lot of times on victims, victims that should never have been victims. And so, boy, that's really meaningful to me. Thank you.
Good.
I remember that story.
Yippee-yay. So a couple things I wanted to bring up about you. You started your journalism career very young. I did not realize you had worked at NPR. Now, Diane, I have to tell you this. Do not get angry with me. You must. No. You and I honestly wish I could have found my picture. We looked like we were twins. No joke at this time in our lives. However, you wore it better. I could not find my picture. I looked for about an hour today. No
What
joke.
was this a picture of?
Your early career. Here we go.
Oh, stop. Oh, my God. That's me at NPR. Yeah, I guess I'm partial to striped T-shirts. I don't know. I moved from Albuquerque, New Mexico, all the way across the country by myself. I knew nobody. And I thought, well, I got to cut off all this crazy hair and get like a proper hairdo.
And you thought the afro was the afro? Oh, perm.
Perm. That was not one of my better days.
Well, I did not have a perm, but I had short curly hair because I wanted to have that Farrah Fawcett feathered look, but apparently it didn't want to have me. So I wish I could find it. I do it side by side. We have something else in common.
Oh, God, more embarrassment. What's happening?
No, this is competition.
Take it.
That's what I always would say to her at work. I can't take it. What's happening? All right, here we go. Competition. Both of us with Chris Maloney.
Oh my gosh, isn't that? Yeah, but look how spectacular you look. I had on a lousy business suit. I've been working in the streets all day. And he said, God, you smell. Get away from me. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. Wasn't he lovely?
Yeah, he is. Really nice guy. Well, we're both members of the Friars Club, right? Is that where you were with him there?
No, I was actually at Caroline's on Broadway. There was something called Stand Up for Madeline. It's Madeline Kahn ovarian cancer fundraiser because Madeline Kahn, the great actor, passed away from ovarian cancer. So there's a fundraiser, and he was co-hosting it with me. And
honey, that's great.
Yeah, he was lovely. Hello. So I felt like you were trying to take him away from me, and that was
I really wasn't. I'm happily married to the same guy. We just had our 30th wedding anniversary.
Michael Schoen, CBS News Radio for many years.
Yeah, he's recently retired. He's still doing voiceover. We have a studio right back through that door there, where he does a lot of voiceover. So
talk about like your early career. You started at NPR. That's like you were a baby.
Well, actually, I started in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
That was before that. That's right.
Yeah, KOB. I was, even before that, I was a receptionist in high school during the summertime at the local TV station, KGGM. And I just got this hankering to do news because one night I'm answering the phone, KGGM, have a happy day. That's what they made me say. I swear to God. And the news director came running out. It was, 8 o'clock at night. There's a 10 o'clock newscast. And he said, do you know how to write? Do you know how to type? I said, well, yes, I've won many awards in school for my, whatever.
Well, I was
And he
sophomore class.
said, yeah, really? I think I was a junior in high school. But all of the writers had gone out for dinner and had a terrible car accident.
Oh.
And they were in Presbyterian Hospital. And you are the only one in this station. And you have to help me get the news ready. So the anchor man read my words. And I called my mom at home. Mom, quick, turn on channel 10. Channel 13 it was. And I was just hooked by the storytelling of it and the immediacy of it. And, my mother always said I was just a busybody and always wanted to know everything. So I started in Albuquerque. I did radio on KOB Radio News. Big 50,000 watt station. I was very lucky. I covered cops and courts, and I won some awards for putting a sheriff in jail. That's another story.
Wow.
Yes. I put the sheriff and his couple of top aides in jail, and I won a big award from the American Bar Association. So I packed up. I went to the East Coast and I started dropping off resumes everywhere, like I belonged. Like, really? What, you've worked in one major place in Albuquerque. And NPR hired me.
Oh, NPR hired you where? In Washington or New York?
Yeah, Washington, D.C. So I packed up my little electric blue Charger with everything I could get in it. And I drove across the country right before Christmas time. And I moved into the Y, the YWCA.
YWCA?
Wow. Yeah. And it was Christmas Eve, I remember. Jimmy Carter was just about to take office. And I walked in to check into this Y. It was 2 blocks from NPR. Perfect. I don't know, $30 a night or something, or 20. And there were all of these old ladies at the end of the lobby gathered around a piano singing Christmas carols. And one was sitting closer to the desk sobbing. And I thought to myself, what have I done? 1,000 miles away from everybody I know and love. And this old lady's crying. And it was like, okay, show me to my cell. And I had this little room. The bathroom was down the hall. Anyway, I'm telling you way too much, but that's how I got to the East Coast. And then I never went back to Albuquerque. I mean, for visits, but.
Well, one of the things, speaking of bathrooms, okay, Allison, she's watching. Hi, Allison. Allison had a question for you. A lot of people want to know this. What is Nancy Grace like? You filled in for her a lot. You worked with her. Let's talk Nancy Grace, because I have a Nancy Grace story that happened when you and I were on radio together.
All right. Well, that's why you brought up the bathroom. I can't believe you're telling this story or making me tell it. I did fill in for Nancy Grace sometimes, but I was a reporter in the field at Court TV. She was the anchor. Sometimes I anchored, but, substitute. And I was in the ladies' room one day in the far stall, and Nancy came in talking on the phone.
Oh, okay. About what?
About her pregnancy, about upcoming, in vitro fertilization. I didn't want to hear it.
But you're in this stall and like a superhero, and she does not know you're in there, and she's talking by the sinks about getting.
She had the very loud voice, and I know that she is dating 2 different fellows, and I'm thinking, I don't want to la 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 la. I do, it's like some things you don't want to know, but I know.
So did you come out and go, hello, hope it's twins?
No.
Did you?
Yeah. I pulled my feet up to the, like she couldn't see. I'm admitting this. I can't even. You didn't want to cross Nancy at Court TV because she was sort of the star of the place. She was filling in for Larry King at the time on CNN. She's a big deal, and just believe me, you never wanted to go up against her. You never wanted to make her mad.
Well, she seems like such an angry person, and there was a lawsuit. Bob was asking about this. Bob said that she had settle something that somebody committed suicide. Supposedly, I don't know any of this. Supposedly, allegedly, I'm saying
Yeah.
because she accused them of something they didn't do. Do you know any details about this, Diane?
I
Good
do.
question. Okay.
I do, because at that point she was at HLN, the CNN sister station, and I filled in for her there because she just stayed off the air for a while after that lawsuit was filed. And in a nutshell, she did this story about a young child who was killed. And of course, it had to have been the mother's fault, with the flaring nostrils and the
Mother fault.
oh, and the tot, you let the tot get out and died. Oh my God. Oh, geez. It was just every night relentless against this mother who'd lost her child. And she killed herself. She killed herself. And the mother's family, I believe, if I'm remembering right, is the one who filed the lawsuit. So I don't know whatever happened to it, but yeah, Bob's right. Got a good memory, Bob.
So, did the mother have anything to do with the daughter's death, or we don't know?
I think it was a case of negligence. Like she wasn't watching and the kid ran off, or I can't recall exactly.
All right, we can't recall exactly, but well, I remember when you and I were on the Radio Readers, real interesting talk always on Greenstone Media. I just tell people right out that I had 5 miscarriages, and I was trying they were natural, and then I said, oh, let me do 1 round of this IVF, and when they send you like a styrofoam cooler filled with like drugs. And I knew that maybe this wasn't for me when I opened it and was hoping it'd be a lobstergram. It was like, I don't know about this stuff.
And the syringes were right there in your face, right?
Yeah, it just wasn't, I'm fine. Some people, I'm like, I'm fine, believe me. So you are when you have a miscarriage and your response is, whoa, that was close. But anyway, that's dark humor. Dark humor. So anyway, Nancy had just announced that she was pregnant with twins, 2 tots. Twins.
2 tots.
So I just think, like when Star Jones said she got skinny doing Pilates, I just don't like when people BS. Or don't talk about it or be honest. Like say, I really don't want to talk about it. But you can't you come on our show and you're like, I'm pregnant and I'm having twins. And I go, Nancy, may I ask you, did you conceive naturally or did you go through, in vitro? I think, I don't know why you're asking me that. I'm like, because you're not up and you're 112. That's why. Because you're not up and you're
exactly. You were asking because of her age. And I know your age and I know her age, and she's older than you. And here you were having a lot. You were having to resort to the possibility of IVF, and you wondered, and it was a natural question. But yeah, I remember that. She took great umbrage, didn't she? She's very upset.
But then she started talking about it very openly after that. So I feel that I was there for her and I helped her open up like a sandwich that wasn't wrapped properly. We're going to talk about later, you guys. I do these bonus episodes on patreon.com. They're bonus. So like you don't get to hear Diane's answer unless you sign up at patreon.com. But we're going to tell another Nancy Grace story. Or 2 that you have. You can't divulge them now. And maybe even a couple other little tidbits. I have a couple of other things before I let you go, my DD, because
anything.
You're so sweet. You're such a good person. Have you ever here we go. Wait, we forgot to show the picture of Nancy Grace.
Oh my God. That was a book party. That was my book party for the Jackson book. And I had just been on the O'Reilly Factor where they put way too much makeup on me. But Nancy was nice enough to come to the book party, and that was sweet. That was nice of her.
Well, you look gorgeous, and you look like somebody I'd hang out with in high school. Like we ain't putting up with her crap. Don't worry about that, Maureen. Don't let that smile fool you.
I sort of don't. I look like the girls in Footloose, with the teased up hair. I don't know.
You always look gorgeous. So some of the people you've worked with here. Let's bring this up. I wanted to ask you. I don't know if you worked with her or you're just in a picture here with Mary Hart.
Yes, I did. That was at the memorial service for Michael Jackson after he passed away in 2000. Oh gosh, I've forgotten now. 8, I think it was. And it was early in the morning. And we were at the Staples Center, and Mary is the nicest person in television ever, 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 ever. And I knew her from hard copy days. And when I went to work for Entertainment Tonight after Jackson passed, she was just so gracious, just a sweetheart.
So that was legitimate. All that happiness was really sincere.
Yeah, but look at me. I look exhausted. It's like, 7 in the morning. And
well, I'm thinking, what are you doing at Michael Jackson's memorial? But you were covering it. I'm like, why didn't you invite her?
I covered him for so long, and I wrote the quote unquote definitive book about the allegations against him. And when he died, the executive producer of Entertainment Tonight, where Mary worked, she was the host for 100 years, called me. She had been my boss. Linda Bell Blue is her name. She'd been my boss at Hard Copy. And she said, I want to sign you. I want you to come to work for Entertainment Tonight to just do Jackson follow-up stories. And I said, no. And then she talked me into it. So I flew out to LA and worked there I got stuck out there for about 13 weeks.
So you were covering him and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Because, there was the inquest, and there was the autopsy, and there was the funeral, and there were the kids to think about, and the estate, and there was all sorts of follow-up stories to do.
How do people get? You have the book, Be Careful Who You Love, Diane Dimond. She's added more chapters, and I believe there's an audio version.
Wherever you buy audiobooks, audible.com. I think if you get it and listen to it in 30 days, it's free. Mm-hmm. I can't remember exactly, but do you know where that title came from?
I don't.
Careful Who You Love?
Why don't you tell us in the back?
It came from the song Billie Jean. And my highly intelligent husband, who's right up these stairs, thought of it. You know the lyric. My mom always told me to be careful who you love.
Oh yeah, be careful who you love.
Yeah,
our dancing skills are amazing. Everybody's saying how beautiful you are, Diane.
Oh, thank you.
And then Gary Mack from high school asked me if you're really that pretty. I said yes, and brilliant.
Oh, you sweetie. I can't wait for you to come back to New York. So when are you here? June 10th?
I'm coming back to my New York City, back to my home in a couple weeks. But I want to tell you, I can't let you go without asking you another question. But folks, if you want to go join Patreon at Maureen Langan, you'll get our backstage chat, and we'll dish the dirt. Maybe she'll have a good Nancy Grace story. I'm sure she will. And just one more time, letting you know, if you want to support the show, you keep them going when you donate at PayPal, Mo Langan, Venmo at Mo Langan. Those are ways to keep the shows coming, because this is what we do. This is what we bring in. Great, great guests like Diane Dimond. And if you sign up at Patreon, you can get great interviews up there with Alan Zweibel, the original Saturday Night Live writer, best friends with Gilda Radner, dear, dear friends of Billy Crystal. We talk there. So many great chats there. My wonderful interview with Sandra Joseph, who played Christine in Phantom of the Opera, the longest running leading lady on the longest running show on Broadway. And what a delight she is. So those are the kind of things you get when you support at Patreon, and you can sign up for $5 a month. If you're cheap. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking. They know I'm joking, but you can do as much as you want. And at higher levels, you get different gifts. Let me tell you something. Every single one of you who donate, you've been supportive. Believe me, it means a lot. I make jokes because I don't know why I do that. That's because I'm funny.
Maybe I donate my watering can that looks like a no. Okay.
You are so insane. All right, so listen to me, my Diane Dimond. We're going to go backstage. I just somebody did ask me, Bob wants to know, is Leaving Neverland, in your opinion, is that accurate, assuming you've seen it? The Michael Jackson story, right?
Yeah. I've seen it, and I have corresponded with Dan Reed, the producer of that documentary. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I wrote the book that Maureen has nicely hawked for me here tonight in 2005. And I was writing about those boys back then that appeared on Leaving Neverland. Yeah, I believe every single word they said. And when I worked at Hard Copy in 1993, I got a bead about Wade Robson, and I went to find him and spoke to his mother.
Say who these are for people like me who don't know that was a child, Wade.
Wade Robson. There were two young men in Leaving Neverland who came forward. Wade Robson, a choreographer, and Jimmy Safechuck. And they came forward and alleged that they too had been molested by Michael Jackson as children for years and years and years and years.
Oh,
Not just a one time, for years. And it was the most disturbing thing that I've seen, because I knew those boys when they were little. And I tried to get to the truth back then. And Joy Robson, Wade's mother, said to me, "You get out of, you're a bitch. You get out of here. Michael Jackson's a saint." Wade Robson took the stand in the criminal trial. He was the lead defense witness and said nothing ever happened. He's a great guy. And then he had 2 nervous breakdowns and finally admitted the truth. So yeah, if you haven't seen Leaving Neverland, I highly recommend it. If you wonder about the allegations against Michael Jackson, did he get a fair trial? Was justice served, or was it subverted? You should watch Leaving Neverland and look into the eyes of those 2 now men and see if you think they're telling the truth. I do.
Somebody said, Wade, is he a dance choreographer now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So you think you can get dance? Thank you, Charlotte. You know, Diane, I don't know how you do it, because sometimes people say to me, Maureen, you're so, the Sicilian lover, you're so specific when you use words and want to be understood, because I do want to be understood. Like if something is, I don't know, I like the right words.
That's the journalist in you.
Yeah. And it's like, you know what? He goes, well, are you frustrated? No, I'm not frustrated. I'm, like, I like it's particular to me because it's not correcting somebody if they're not using the right word. It's about wanting to convey a truth. But those are small things. If I did what you did to the extent you did, to know the truth about somebody who's molesting children, and I don't care what you do in your life. I don't care what you want to do. Just leave kids alone and don't bother me. Those are my rules. But you hurt a kid, my head explodes. So I don't know how you can. There's got to be something when you know it's the truth and nobody's hearing it, and they're acquitting him and they're standing up for him. How do you handle that part of you that just wants to scream through? Or do you how do you do that?
Should I get my husband in here to tell you how well I coped with it? No, look, I broke the story about Jackson in 1993. Nobody talked about child molestation then. I mean, people have come up to me later and said, I had to look up the word pedophile. You know, nobody talked about it in 1993. They didn't want to hear. There wasn't any internet then. There was, but after I wrote the book, and after the trial, and then now after Leaving Neverland, this most compelling documentary, I got calls from all over the world, Irish radio, the BBC, an Italian newspaper, and hey, don't you feel vindicated?
Yeah, really?
No, I don't feel vindicated. I feel profoundly sad that nobody would talk about this in 1993, because think of all the years that have gone by, and think of all the places where victims could have been victimized because nobody was listening.
They would not have been victimized had people listened.
It just, how do I cope? It just hurts right in here. And
wow, and you keep going.
Go on.
People come at you, that you get death threats. I put on a funny joke about J-Lo. People come at me and I take it down. I'm like, I can't take it. I can't take it. Why don't people understand what I'm talking about? I don't want to hate you. You make me hate you. Get your Don't Make Me Hate You t-shirts at MaureenLangan.com. And you guys, please follow Diane Dimond. It's Diane Dimond. There's no A. It's Dimond. Follow her. Go to her website. Your website is DianeDimond.com.
Yeah, it took me a long time to come up with that name, but yeah.
Well, you used to have net, I think, and then you switched.
Yes, that's the old one. Now it's .com, because the guy who trademarked my name under .com finally let me have it.
And you got to go there. You got to read her columns. They're brilliant. They question what's going on. They dig deep. And, it'll give you something to think about. It's true journalism, which is why I love her. It's not like, forgive me, Tucker Carlson, who's allowed to say, they said he doesn't have to say the truth because people aren't, a court said they don't expect him to say the truth. Yeah. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? I don't know. That makes my head explode. I'm like,
well, my columns are half reporting, half educating, I guess, about crime and justice issues. And there's so many things to think about, not only our criminal justice system, but just stuff that happens. I put a new column up every Monday. They run in newspapers across the country on the weekend. Then I archive them at my website. And go read the one now about how the government is fighting this little small farmer in South Dakota over a mud puddle.
Yeah, a mud puddle.
Now, is that justice? Come on, stop it.
Stop it.
Don't make me hate you.
Don't make her hate you. So if you want to follow us at Patreon, Diane Dimond and I, we're going to dish the dirt. These are the backstage things you get. Another Nancy Grace story. And I'm going to ask Diane who, like maybe somebody who came on to her, or who was the rudest person. Do you have something like that you can titillate? Can you reel them in with?
Hashtag Me Too.
Ooh, we're going to find out her Me Too moment. And we're going to do another Nancy Grace. Oh, Me Too's. I want to have a Me Fours. No, I'm kidding. I don't want any of that. But
Maureen, I love you. Thank you for having me on. It's like it's the old radio show again, talking with you.
Wasn't it? I know. Thank you for doing this. I think the world of you, and I love you. I'm going to put you in the green room, Dee. And all right, you guys. So we'll have more with Diane Dimond when you follow at Patreon. Just subscribe at $5 a month, and you'll get those sweet little backstage chats. Dish the dirt. I want to find out who came on to her, like these Me Too movements. Please go check out my new website. It's still Maureen Langan, but I have really revamped the whole thing. And keep me in mind if you need a host, a comic, a moderator. I do a lot of events where they're raising money, or there's New York Times bestselling authors and they want somebody to keep the conversation flowing and things moving. So whatever you need, or you need a comedy show, whatever, people are getting out now. You need some broadcasting coaching, you want pots and pans, whatever you need, Maureen Langan is here for you. I'm a tinker. No, that's the pots and pans people in Ireland, the tinkers. Hey, you guys, Eddie Clark, Liberty, Joy, Michelle Ballin, yes. Jane Velez Mitchell is a good friend of Michelle Ballin, who's a comic, and I know Diane knows Jane Velez. Maybe I'll bring her back and give her. You have anything nice to say about?
Hi, Jane.
No, she's not listening, but her good friend is.
Long time.
All right, you guys.
I'll DM you.
All right, you guys. So listen, until we meet again, you know the routine. I got to get my little stuff up. I'm my own one-man band. You see that. Until we meet again. Bye, Wig.